This world has been connected, tied to the darkness, soon to be completely eclipsed.
Hello there, Sir from 17 once again. This is my Kingdom Hearts Final Mix, Proud Difficulty walkthrough. This is the first of the 2 Ursula fights in Atlantica, and this one is nothing but hitting that cauldron with magic. So throughout this video I'm going to be giving you bits of information from the official walkthrough of the game, of the original version of Kingdom Hearts, which I purchased many years ago. And if anybody is interested in this book, it is the piggyback version. It's got some really nice artwork in it. It's lacking in certain areas if you want the most thorough and detailed walkthrough, but if you've bought these walkthroughs before, you know what they are. These books are generally just fan service and really not much else. They're good for items, they're good for collectibles and stuff, and they're good for little tips and tricks, but they do miss some, certain strategies. But Ursula's stats are as follows. On the first fight, she has 450 life. Flotsam and Jetsam have 60 each. And it's 1,000 experience from her and 50 experience from the lackeys. And obviously, once you do damage to half to the stun phase, she's going to turn into this big, whirlpool of legs. And all you want to do is you want to be to the opposite of where the hell she is. And she does track, so she's going to try and come to where you are. So as she starts coming down, you want to start going up and vice versa. It's a lot of luck is involved because the camera and the lock-on and things like that, it can be quite tricky. But as soon as she stops and the cauldron comes back online, start hitting it with all the magic you've got. And then when this happens, it's going to stun Ursula, then you want to get in there and start beating her up. And she will die faster if your team are close, but you can't control your team, so don't even try. So the strategy in here says that attacking her is not effective, because she counters you. And it also mentions hitting the cauldron. It also mentions that killing Flotsam and Jetsam is only good at getting MP, because Ursula will revive them, they'll never stay gone. So it's pretty simple, really. Yeah, it's all pretty simple, there's no secret tricks with the looks of that. I'm sure speedrunners have found a really fast way of doing this, but we're just beating it, we're just getting shit done. So just keep hitting it. Do not be mistaken, that is not you who did that, that is her, so be careful. Because there's been times when I thought that means she was stunned, I've gone towards her and I've taken the full brunt of that spinning attack, which does massive damage. But just keep hitting it, keep throwing those at ethers. And there it is. This should be the final one. That is the end of the first phase of Ursula. So now that that's done, you're going to unlock the ability to use, I think it's called the Dolphin Kick. And what it allows us to be able to do is we can now swim up that tidal corridor without needing the dolphin, because we now have super powerful legs and shit. And then the second phase of Ursula, which is probably the harder one, will commence when we move to the next area, which is up that tidal, crazy, wavy corridor. And the second phase really sucks, guys. It's a damage race that you can just bash away and heal. The attacks, they come fast, they come locked on, they track with you and things. So it's a really tough fight to do, cleanly, unless you're extremely patient and you're taking your time. That doesn't mean it can't be done, though. I did experiment with a few strategies that were really safe, but they were super boring to watch, and they took forever. You get in there, you hit her 2 to 3 times, you get out, you evade, you get back in, you hit her 1 to 2, 3 times, you get out, you evade, and I think it took me about 7 minutes to kill her. It was not graceful, so you're going to see the Occam's razor of the best way to kill her, which is literally going to be beat her tits off and evade the big hits. Take a few hits on your way there, but just get it done in the end kind of attitude. That being said though, guys, if you are trying to do a level 1 proud difficulty run through, you're probably going to have to play super patiently and intelligently, so it might come in handy to practice those skills. And I don't know if I'm going to try something like that. I like to think I'm going to, because I'm in a big Kingdom Hearts mood at the moment. I'm pretty much playing every single version I can get my hands on. And I'm hoping it continues to do well on the channel, because it seems to be hitting about 300 views, which doesn't sound like much to most channels, but it's kind of a lot for me. And even though I do have 12,000 subscribers, my views do not really, show that at all, which The general rule on YouTube is 10%, and it's a pretty sad rule, but not everybody can watch everything all the time. You know, we're human. We all have needs, and we all have different things. We don't just live in front of the internet. This is Ursula 2, anyhow, and the trickiest part about this fight is getting into position to do damage safely, and the best place to be is behind her here, stuck kind of clipping on the back of her neck. The problem here is it's very easy to get around the front of her face, and when you're trying to get round her to get to this position, you can get hit, you can get dragged into the breath attacks and things. It's kind of awkward in a clippy manner, but still, you know, still a valid strategy and one you want to do. You'll notice the only thing that really hits you back here is the lightning, and if you have the aura on like I do, or era as it's called, or aero, I don't know which one I just used, it's pretty simple. You need to be aware of when Ursula says things, because it generally means she's going to do something specific. And as you can see, she's doing the big beam from her mouth. You want to avoid that as best you can. It does a lot of damage. It's very easy to avoid if you get out of its way. I know that sounds obvious and simple, but it's true. You know, if you're nowhere near it, it can't touch you. There is a really big attack there by Ursula. That's one you literally need to avoid, or it's going to do some serious damage to you, and you'll have to, you know, heel race like a clown to get through that one. Also, something to note, this might be a fight where Goofy serves you better than Donald does. I never really had too much trouble with Donald dying all the time, but it was a case of, because he's very magic orientated, he's not as keen to get in there and swing away. And sometimes he is, but in the wrong fashion sense. He'll do it with his staff, which is not what you want at all. You want him to be, you know, killing dudes with the weapon that's his most useful one. But that is the end of Ursula, and as you can see, it looks simple, and it can be if you get a nice run, but you can die so quickly in that fight, and you don't really see that threat unless you play it. So hopefully you'll have no issue, and you'll seal Atlantica and move on to Hollow Bastion. So thanks for watching, and you take care.